Welcome to the Glacially musical podcast. It is beer, metal, swearing, and a jacked up video system on my end. Of course, I am Nik Cameron of Glacially Musical, the visionary founding leader who's not full of himself at all. I am joined by my good friend, a man who's rotund, a man who's gregarious, Keefy Sagittarius.
Completely not my horoscope sign, but thank you.
I have
Rotund is true.
no idea where I was going there.
My birthday's in September and I'm a Virgo, but I appreciate you.
So is my wife, I think.
Yep. Well, not a surprise. How you doing?
I'm good. I'm watching the
Yeah.
I
We're
talk.
Amtrak.
I talk and it clip.
Yeah. That's it.
Mm,
Not sure what to do. Just go for it. Fight
All
through.
right.
Tell us about the show, Nick.
What show? Did I go to a show? I can't. You're on mute, sir.
You would talk. I muted so you would talk. Tell us about the Glacial Musical Podcast. Unfortunately, our video is off the Amtrak.
Oh, it's beer, metal, swearing, some vinyl. Thank you very much for joining us for episode 4 of the Obituary series, the final episode. And I was going to talk about next week's Chaser. I think we're going to cancel that and just move on into the next series because we missed a week. But here's how this goes. Clearly, I am psychedelic as hell right now, and I don't like it. But we do the beer check, the vinyl check, the news check, and the meat shirt check, meat of the episode, and the meat of the week, which this week is Obituary's 4th record, World Demise.
Talk for a minute. Yeah, that's good. I'm very excited. I don't know if I want to cancel the chaser. We discussed it, and I'm good to do a chaser next week. Give fans a break before we start the news series, but we can announce the new series during the news break. The
We'll do
news
that.
check.
All
What's your
right.
beer check? You need a beer for sure.
Beer of the week is Founders Brewing Old Dirty Bastard. It is an 8.5% Scotch ale. Interesting to note, Scotch ales are more popular in America than in Scotland.
That's fascinating. Nice pour. I think from now on, anytime there's a mention of Old Dirty Bastard, you have to rap. So I think you got to give us like, oh baby, I like it raw. We got to get like an ODB in here.
Foot on the pedal, never ever false metal. Hotter more than a boiling kettle. My job
That
ain't a
is
job, it's a damn good time.
that's
City
the
to city,
Beastie
I'm running
Boys,
my rhyme. And that's all I can do.
not Wu-Tang Clan.
Okay,
Old
fine.
Dirty
Let me
Bastard.
try again. Love, the kind you clean
That's
up with the mop and bucket, like
not
the lost
acceptable.
catacombs of Egypt. Only God knows where we stuck
I
it.
like,
Hieroglyphics, leave
listen,
Pacific.
I like Bloodhound Gang a lot more than most people. They are not equitable to Beastie Boys or Wu-Tang. Anyhow,
I was doing my karaoke
I
jams.
know, I know. I'm not at karaoke today because I'm not home in San Francisco. I'm outside of the city pet sitting still in yet another room in the house from last week. So enjoy this new visual and angle, but the dangle of the angle is perpendicular to the square. I'm having a Waterloo seltzer. Enjoy and cheers. Raw dog.
Cheers, my friend. I'm gonna try bringing the video back online now.
Mm, nope.
Mm-mm.
Still bad. Oh well.
It'll come back. It always does. I think I
Sometimes.
need I need a new camera. That's what the issue is. I need a new camera.
I'll suggest a couple for you.
I don't want to spend too much money though.
I
So
understand, but unfortunately, you spend a certain amount. You have to spend less on vinyl in February and buy some gear. Unfortunately,
I don't
we,
like gear.
unfortunately, that's the cost of doing business. Anywho,
Go ahead with your vinyl check. I'm
I'm
still
gonna go
fine.
ahead with my vinyl check. I have a road trip vinyl check and a road trip shirt check. Do you recall a few months back when I wore a white Green Day shirt on the podcast?
I do not.
Oh no, really? I'm shocked. I thought you would for sure
I
remember.
One, I don't like Green Day. Two, I drink when we do
I
these.
mean, I wore a white shirt. I don't have any other white shirts.
Do you remember my white shirt?
No. And I don't drink usually when we do these anymore, unfortunately for me. I wish I had a beer right now. I need one so bad. Here's my vinyl check. So I had bought Green Day was going through a rebrand of their coffee company, formerly known as the Oakland Coffee Company, now known as the Punk Bunny Coffee. And they had like a $10 clearance sale. Buy our last few bags of Oakland coffee and get a shirt and some other free shit. So I got a shirt and a bag of coffee that was very strong but delicious. I'm more of a medium roast guy, and this was a dark roast, but it was quite flavorful and good. And then I got that white shirt that looks like the Kerplunk album artwork. It's white with the chick logo of their, like one of their mascots for their coffee. And then it came with two surprises, two Green Day vinyl, 7 inches. So one is Green Day live from the Hella Mega Tour in 2022, which I believe was Green Day, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer. It does not sound like a show I would like that much. Side A is Brain Stew. Side B is Pollyanna. Let's take a look at this because I believe both of these are fancy schmancy vinyls already in the mylar they came with it. Oh, no inner mylar though. And this is the Oh, is that a urine yellow or an orange translucent? Rhymes with orange. Side A and side B. Very cool, very cool. It's a picture of them on stage at one of these tour stops that was like stadiums. I think it was Green Day's first actual stadium tour ever. Kind of cool. And then for the second vinyl, I think they were just trying to get rid of these things. Green Day, the BBC Sessions 7-inch part 2, which implies there's a part 1 that I do not have. Again, side 1 basket case and side 2 when I come around. Recorded evening session for Radio 1 BBC 8/6/1994. Very timely for this album check today. Again, these are all Warner Brothers. Green Day, a fascinating story of what happens when an underground punk rock band makes it famous. But let's see. Again, outer sleeve, no mylar for this one. I think it was wrapped in a shrink wrap. And then this guy is in a beautiful purple, which I think this is sort of looks like a blue here, but I think it's technically like a cornflower bluish purple. Not 100% sure why it's showing up so blue on these lights here, but I did bring my Yeti microphone and I brought my light setup that I normally have at home, except for the one big overhead light. So again, considering I'm not home, I'm doing pretty well. That is my vinyl check. A rare Green Day. I also have coming up soon the Green Day 2024 album on vinyl to check, probably in 2 weeks. Are we ready, Nick? Nope, he's still futzing with his stuff. How's everybody doing out there? The world is on fire. California's on fire. And I hope everybody's okay. I don't think Nick's even listening to me. And I hope everybody's good out there because it's been a hard one. If you're not doing that good, feel free to get at us. Not a whole lot we can do, but support each other. I don't know what else to do. Nick's got a cool flannel on he's wearing.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. You're doing your best. I've been filling time. You'll be surprised when you hear it.
No, I heard it.
Oh, okay. What's your vinyl check, sir?
I was on mute. I had it on mute, so I couldn't say anything. And if I did say anything, you'd be staring at my ass.
I saw a part of you, like I saw the chiaroscuro angle of you, like reaching up to God. And speaking of God, what's your vinyl check?
My vinyl check this week is weeks ago, a friend of the show, Danny Nichols, handed me his last Torchlight Parade album on CD, and I don't ask for him to give me these things on CD. He shows up at my house with them, and then I listen to them, and Kiddo and I decided we were going to go record shopping on Saturday. I put a pretty good limit on what we were doing for the week because we spent a lot of money around Christmas time on vinyl, quite frankly. So I didn't want to go crazy, didn't want to break the bank, especially since we're coming up to the good season in the Cameron family. So just kind of, getting from point A to point B. But what I did come across, which was under my limit for $25, I came across Torchlight Parade, Children of the Night. Now, in my opinion, Danny's been on 3 records with Torchlight Parade. They've done several others, and they'll probably do more to come without him. But this is my favorite. They finally found the lane I feel like they belong in. It's still very much Judas Priest worship. It's still very much, trying to do that cool 80s power metal thing with keyboards and all the business and the shred guitar and the super high vocals. And it works really well. Don't get me wrong. I definitely enjoy it, and I've enjoyed every one of their shows I've been to. Unfortunately, and I'm going to apologize to Danny on the air, I did not make the last one. Said I was probably gonna, but the world changed and I couldn't make it. But the cool thing about this record is check this shiz out.
That is gorgeous. Holy fuck.
I know. If you're listening to this on the podcasty, and it's a green and black splatter. And if you're watching on YouTube, hopefully you can see my light up keyboard reflecting into the vinyl itself. But I didn't even know it was a cool splatter. This is one of those amazing times it works out really well for the cover. This one is, this is a band that has somebody dressed up as Michael Myers coming out every show to murder the band on stage. And they finally decided to go just straight up, Universal movie monster. It's got an inner sleeve with, pictures of the band, all the lyrics, and all the good stuff on the back. So, and I listened to this on Saturday, the day I got it, and I apologize because I cleaned it with dirty water that has been sitting in my record cleaner for 2 weeks because I have not bought any distilled water. But you just spin it a few times and you wipe it down and it's probably fine. But it is truly a great record, and not only is it a great record, great songs, but it's an amazing pressing. I have the 2 albums that Danny was on vinyl, and both of them just truly sound amazing. Great records. I picked this up at Joe's Records STL in South County Mall, which I did not take you to, but the next time you're here, you will definitely get a taste of that because they have the absolute greatest loyalty program. They give you a little ticket, and each time you buy a record or a CD, they put a price tag on it. And then after you get 12, they average out those numbers, and you get a gift certificate for that number.
That's crazy. That's amazing. That's really fun.
No email address, no nothing. Just is
Trust.
what it is.
Just trust. Amazing.
Yeah, just come back.
How it used to be in America. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, how many, remember the Camelot Music one? You'd go in, you'd buy a CD, and they'd do a little punch with was an eighth note, I believe.
Yeah. Did you have the Wall record store when you were coming up? Do you know what the Wall is?
Pink Floyd The Wall, or a different one?
The record store, The Wall.
No.
They had a blue background with white lettering on, like a Garamond serif font. What I was going to say is the Wall used to charge a little bit more for a CD, like $22, but you had a lifetime guarantee to replace or swap it out if it got scratched.
If it got scratched?
CDs.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, they would do that even then, because I lent some CDs to a total Hoosier buddy of mine, and my Queen CD never played the same again, and I never did get my Black Sabbath Dehumanizers.
Did not matter because the Queen CDs were probably not that good, and then
it was
not that good.
One, the Queen record was amazing. I'm putting my finger up in the air.
Greatest hits, or because it's
yes, it was. It was greatest hits.
That's why.
It was classic.
Please
Queen.
Refer to our Queen series.
A Queen series,
documented.
The most self-flagellation we have ever done. I'm
in love with my fucking car. Anyway,
yeah, and Dehumanizer is, well, I mean, it's frankly the worst Dio Sabbath record, but it's still better than half of the Ozzy Sabbath records.
Fair enough. Let's lightning fast go through the next 2 checks. What do you have any news to share?
I don't have any news this week. I haven't.
That's
it's
amazing.
only Monday. It's not.
Yeah, normally we're recording
enough.
Midweek. There hasn't been enough news yet.
I'll just opine on whatever you say.
Oh, cool. Well, you'll like this topic. 2 songs by Ozzy Osbourne have catapulted into the top 5 digital charts. I don't know if that means anything to you.
Oh,
Probably
I
not.
have a digital thing I can say you just reminded me of, but I'll get to
Cool.
that.
Hold it. Ozzy Osbourne, No More Tears, buoyed by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame performance of No More Tears, as well as Crazy Train, because I think it's in a TV commercial and probably going to be one in the
Is
Super
it?
Bowl. Yeah, I forget where it was, but that's why. Like suddenly, Crazy Train and No More Tears are in the top 5 because the Hall of Fame TV broadcast is now like on Max, it's on Hulu, so a
Ew.
lot of people are watching it for the first time now.
I'm
Instead,
not gatekeeping. I'm just denigrating rampant commercialism.
I understand, but this is a thing, and it's good for Ozzy. So, like, let's
Agreed, agreed,
celebrate
agreed.
the Ozman, and then the relative to the Green Day vinyl check I just did. Green Day is now headlining the Bottle Rock Napa Festival up here by me in Napa Valley in Memorial Day weekend. If I somehow can't go to Baltimore for Maryland Death Fest, I could very well go to cover it because you can't afford to see Green Day by themselves. So the only chance to see them for me is going to be at a festival
When
that I
is Baltimore
cover.
Death Fest? Is it
Maryland
March?
Death Fest is always Memorial Day weekend in
Oh,
May.
balls.
So
What the fudge? Nobody told me
every
I've been in
year,
Baltimore in May twice in the last 5 years.
every year Memorial Day weekend, it's Maryland Death Fest. Maryland is kind of rough to be there, but anyway, I'm rooting for them always.
But
They
they got
people
the
are gonna
soft shell crab then.
They have the greatest crab. Even I just got to say, I moved to California, the Bay Area. The greatest crab is Maryland crab. The greatest lobster is Maine lobster. I don't care. I don't even really consider anything else lobster except Maine lobster. Sorry, not sorry. Um, are you stable enough to do your shirt check, sir?
I want to do my news check, and I'm not
Oh,
stable.
right, news check.
My news check is since you brought up the digital streaming, it reminded me of something I heard today. Another band has joined the Billion Streams Club. And that would be Rage Against the Machine, most likely future podcast subject, Rage Against the Machine. This really sucks. My camera's being a dick, and I got the lighting perfect. I mean, I'm irritated at myself and all this stupid technology business. Okay, but Killing in the Name of has now hit 1 billion streams, which Zach De La Rocha found interesting, saying that the ignorance of the populace is definitely on display because a lot of you don't understand what we're talking about. And totally with you on that one. And I will turn it over to you now.
Famous libertarian politician Paul Ryan said that "Killing in the Name of" was his favorite song.
I have
And
heard
Rage Against the Machine was his favorite band, and he is the person they're raging against, literally.
I have heard a lot of libertarians say, "Oh, I love Rage Against the Machine." No, you do not.
Yeah, you
Because
definitely
you know
don't.
what? There's no such thing as a libertarian.
Well,
Libertarians are libertarian on every day of the year except one,
election day.
Election day.
That's right.
And you
Yeah,
know
let's
what?
not go there. But you're
Every
not
one of
wrong.
them will say they're not, but they won't. But then they go.
You are not incorrect, sir. You are not incorrect. What is your shirt check? Even though we can't see you.
I'm gonna put it on. Let's see if this goes. It doesn't go, but let's just see if you can see through the psychedelia. We're doing the Doors. I'm rocking my Yuengling shirt, which is not a cool shirt, so the fact that you can't see it, not all that big of a deal.
It's a fun game of nostalgia. It kind of reminds me when I used to try to see porn through the fuzzies on the TV.
Oh, channel
Nice.
63.
It was channel 60, like 68 in the Bronx. And
68. It was the porn channel was 68.
Cablevision, yeah, was 68, not 69. A lost opportunity for sure.
Clear lost
We're
opportunity.
trying to see body parts through the squiggle.
I remember there was a brief time, and I'm not going to say too much because I'll get canceled, but I remember a time when Channel 63 came in where there was only one squiggle, and that squiggle was like 10% up from
Was it
the
Wang?
bottom of, no, it was 10% up
Wang
from the
Doodle?
bottom of the screen, so you could see like all the people,
Oh,
but it just was not the kind of people that I found attractive.
well, usually, especially 90s
But
porn.
I still watched it,
Yes. Middle-aged
hoping.
Nick only likes vinyl pornography and not actual pornography. Don, though, has been messaging us some horn talk all the time in our friend thread now.
It is weird. It's
I
weird,
love
man.
Don,
It's
but like
weird.
I'm single, and for a married guy, it's a lot of horn talk. But it's cool. I love Don. Don, we love you, and we have you back soon. Guess what my shirt check is? You can see it. It's Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem.
You guys get paid?
Oh,
what is this? I shut down my Tinder account for you.
Yeah, I hear you. I thought I was in love. Oh wow, man. I still
can't be
love
like
Janice, man. It was a babe. If only
I think scuba is like an invasion of fish privacy.
for real. It really is.
The real invasion of fish privacy
So
are fishing shows. They
we're
don't want to
gonna,
catch the guy. They just want to make him late for something.
in the interest of time, and because we have done series before that feature the year 1994, I'm gonna just run through the albums of 1994, especially the heavy metal, hard metal records, the year that World Demise came out, our record today, and then we're going to go right into the meat because I'm in a rush. I have Pet Responsibilities, which would be a good name for a song or a band. Albums released in 1994. I will yay or nay if I have it, and you will yay or nay if you have it. I think you have some of these that you have checked before that I know you have. Burn My Eyes, Machine Head. Love it. Nik is gone. Deliverance, Corrosion of Conformity. I have it and I love it. Tales from the Thousand Lakes, Amorphous. Great band. Would be a good band to do a series on. In the Nightside Eclipse by Emperor, arguably one of the best black metal albums of all time. Also one of the best black metal albums of all time, Transylvanian Hunger by Darkthrone. Yeah, I'm going to do that face. Far Beyond Driven Pantera. I know Nicholas has this.
Actually, I don't.
Really, I'm shocked.
I
I'm flabbergasted.
I just have
Power metal.
no
Projects in the Jungle.
the very first one, whatever the
Cowboys
first one
from
is.
Hell. The first
no, 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 no. The very Metal Magic.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, I know.
That's
it's
embarrassing.
Awful. It is embarrassing.
Maybe you will buy all the Panteras in time for us to do Pantera later this year. Euthanasia by Megadeth. I have it. Nick probably doesn't. He's sipping a beer. Welcome to Sky Valley by Caius. Essential and good. Their last album, technically, by Caius. Awake by Dream Theater. Their second album. Pretty good. The debut album by Korn, self-titled. Former podcast subject, The Bleeding by Cannibal Corpse, which I believe was the last episode in our Cannibal Corpse series, because I insisted we do one more. And Nick was like, stop, please. Mercy. Stoner Winch by the Melvins, featuring their biggest hit single, Revolve, produced by Kurt Cobain. And then they took all the money from Atlantic Records and went back to doing underground shit. Nick's favorite black metal album of all time, De Mysterious Dom Satanis by Mayhem.
Mine is actually Live in Leipzig.
Live in Leipzig. That's accurate. An album Nick does not have or care for, but I love, The Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails.
Ew.
When the Kite String Pops by the reunited Acid Bath. Phenomenal.
That is my favorite album title of this year now.
When the Kite String Pops?
What does that even mean? Does anybody know?
I mean, if you've seen the album cover, it's a picture of John Wayne Gacy, a self-portrait of him holding it in his clown getup, holding a kite with a broken string. Low by Testament. Maybe at this point, underrated by Testament.
I got that one. I got that one on a cool ass orange vinyl. And also that John Wayne Gacy thing, that painting has been on like 50 different records.
Yeah.
I think I got my gear. I think I'm here.
You seem good now. All right, let's not jinx it. Super Unknown by Soundgarden. Yay.
I like Bad Motorfinger better.
Oh yeah, fair. Wild Honey by Tiamat. Good band, underrated.
I just love the name. Tiamat is a great name.
Great name. Here's another great name. Ceremony of Opposites by Samael, the Hound of Hell. Great band.
Which one of those is a great name?
Both of those are great band names. Samael, fantastic, and Tiamat.
All right, so yourself.
Fear, Emptiness, Despair, Napalm Death. I don't have this one. I would like
I had that one, and I wish I still did because it's got Godzilla on it, which is my favorite Napalm Death song.
Okay. Super underrated band you probably do not have or know. Therapy with a question mark. Therapy? Troublegum, their most famous album.
Yes, I do know them. I'm insulted.
Okay. The Church Within by The Obsessed, the Stoner Doom band, good band. Not a
Yeah.
great album, but I love the guy. Alice Cooper, The Last Temptation, not great. First,
Oh,
first in a
which
string of forgettable albums.
the first in the string of the first forgettable albums by Alice Cooper.
Yeah, this run though, there are some unbelievable albums on this list. Hold that thought a second. Betty by Helmet. I got it. I love it. Yo.
No, I want to be a fan of Helmet. I'm just not. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. We're gonna correct that soon. Hungry for Stink by L7, future podcast subject.
Andre.
That is what that record is. That's correct. Cleansing by Prong. You know my love of Prong. I have this as well.
Look at my prong right here. Look at the prong.
The shocker. Frost by Enslaved, underrated album, one of their first.
Mm.
I don't know this one that well. Master of the Rings by Halloween. I think it's a Lord of the Rings themed power metal album, and I don't know it that well. That's a shame.
I choose to know nothing by Halloween.
Fair enough. The Principle of Evil Made Flesh by Cradle of Filth.
Don't know that one.
The most avant-garde album in Danzig's career, Danzig 4 by Danzig.
Oh my god, that album's terrible.
Oh no, it's got some good ones. You're wrong.
It's got cat turds on it.
A
The
little
video
bit.
has space cat turds.
Cross Purposes by Black Sabbath.
Got that one.
Pandemonium by Killing Joke. Fuck yes. I don't have this on vinyl, but I need it.
I need to do a Killing Joke exploratory series
We
because
should.
I
We
don't
need
know
to.
them.
Former podcast subject, Stone Temple Pilots, Purple.
Got it. I think mine might even be purple.
Nail Bomb, Point Blank.
Don't have that. No.
One of their two records. For Victory, Bolt Thrower. Don't know him. Blasphemy Made Flesh by Cryptopsy. Great album. These are all bangers. This is
I
unbelievable.
only recently learned about Cryptopsy like about 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
Phenomenal. Keep going. A few more left. Dogman, former podcast subject, Dogman by King's X.
I remember that. I've
Their
heard of
best record. Handful of Rain, Sabotage. Please come back someday.
No.
Vinklinger Veldi by Enslaved, their full length. Good
that.
record. Wait by Rollins Band, Cause I'm a Liar. That record.
Oh my god, I thought that record was going to be so good. And it's not.
Oh no. Jar of Flies, Alice in Chains.
I've had that in my hand on vinyl like 50 times in the past 6 months.
Fair enough. You should have got it.
No, it's an EP. I don't buy EPs.
And Screaming Blue Murder by Blue Murder featuring John Sykes of Thin Lizzy and Whitesnake.
Good for
I mean,
him.
that is a phenomenal year of music. Jeez. Again, what year is the best year ever for metal releases? It very well could be 1994.
Here's where it gets interesting. In 1994, Headbangers Ball is canceled.
95.
95?
Yes, Super Rock replaced it. And it
For
was,
8 weeks
and
tops.
who just died was the host of Super Rock, Jackie Farry, the former nanny for Kurt Cobain and Courtney Love. She was the host. They literally like made her a famous person.
I liked her, but the show lasted like
Yeah,
it was really short, like crazy short.
weeks.
Yeah,
it
was.
was tested through the pits. Like it did not do well.
I liked it. I remember,
and they didn't rectify it by bringing back the ball. They just had made a clean break from metal.
Yep. Well, Super Rock was metal and rap.
It's not untrue. I feel like Super Rock lived in the space where it was like, okay, commercial metal is okay. Alternative Nations heavier bands would be the bands. I remember I taped the first episode hoping it would be like a Headbangers Ball, and it had like Rob Zombie, White Zombie, Electric Head 2.
Yeah, White Zombie was still a thing at this point.
Out before, like it was like the first single for that record. They might have even planned the show around premiering that video.
I remember Tom Araya was on the first or second episode, like the
He
whole
might have been
episode.
an interviewee, yeah, for Divine Intervention, former podcast subject, I think.
Great rec. Yes, it was. Omar Cutlass was on that one.
Omar Cutlass was on this because he is a lover of Paul Bostaff. And I know Urge Overkill was on that episode as a video played. And Toadies, who I also love, but I was like,
saw him in concert. I saw him at Mississippi Nights opening for All.
Yeah, I saw them. this doesn't go. Like I was like, well, you took away Headbangers Ball that had a loyal following, and you've replaced it with this other thing. And I didn't dislike Jackie. She was well fucking derided.
Well, and you replaced it with this other thing that was what they had said about Headbangers Ball was, well, at this point in time in 1994, 1995, Headbangers Ball became too much like our other shows, so we canceled it.
So,
Well,
well,
why
that's
did
their
you
fault.
make it like the other
They,
shows?
that's their fault. Anywho,
We had a space. I missed that space.
anywho, Obituary, World Demise, the last of their classic early albums.
So I think it's important to set up the world here.
Briefly, as
I don't
brief
do
as possible.
I don't do brief.
I know, but
1994 is a weird year. You know, we have this is when in the first time in my lifetime we hear about the death of metal. First in my lifetime that I heard it. You know, it's every 2 to 3 years we would hear, you know, there were all the stories about how heavy metal is dying, heavy metal is over, this genre of music is over. And that's one of the things Duncan and I talk about a lot in the 70s when we do 70s records, 60s and 70s albums, because when they recorded the first Judas Priest record, was heavy metal a genre? Or was heavy metal a fad? Was Run DMC part of a burgeoning revolution, or were they part of a fadular movement with Sugar Hill Gang? Sorry, it took me my brain a minute to get there. And that's the thing about when you have changes in music, you don't know. Like right now, for the time we're talking about, 1994. This album comes out September 6th, 1994. It's late in 1994. It comes out around the same time as Slayer's Divine Intervention. I remember getting that in September of 94. So basically, you have one of the biggest bands in metal making an extraordinary comeback record overshadowing you. And on top of this, what we talked about last week, the Tampa Bay death metal sifting by the major labels, that's over. Grunge is now, like, at this point in time, Soundgarden and Stone Temple Pilots on MTV, because it's important to note that MTV at one time was a powerful force. It was frighteningly powerful. It was like in Shaft, when people says, I go like this, somebody dies 4 blocks over. That's how powerful they were. Do you know why they call me the peoples? Because you always take care of your peoples. Something like that. Got is got, and Shaft got him, motherfucker. Anyway, Shaft's a bad motherfucker, especially when Samuel Jackson is Shaft. But I will fight you. Do you see my face? Do you see my fucking face?
See my fucking face.
Wherever you see this
how
face.
dare you? I mean, I love Sam L, but was discussed on this show many times. But no,
They did it
Richard
perfectly.
Roundtree is.
It
Jeff.
wasn't a reboot.
I don't care, man.
He was the nephew.
I don't care.
Perfection.
It wasn't necessary. You don't gild a lily. You don't need to perfect perfection. Continue. Let's go.
Do you want to be held or do you want the LD? Anyway, so the world is changing at this moment, and metal had a moment. It had a moment in the sun, led by Metallica, as we discussed last week, and the sun has set. This is not the midnight sun of northern Russia. The northern lights are not illuminating the Entombed concerts. It's kind of come and it's kind of gone, and everybody's worrying, is this over? But while everybody's worrying, is this over, Slayer debuts #1 with Far Beyond Driven. No, I'm sorry, not motherfucker. Omar, cut this. Let me start over. So everybody's worried about this dying and this music ending, but at this time, Pantera drops Far Beyond Driven, and that record hits the first week on #1 Billboard charts. And this is the most important era of the Billboard chart, because it's the only time where people are still buying records and the Billboard chart is only counting how many albums were sold. Because
It's
they had these
the
little things
officially
called,
it's the sound scan era.
yeah, they have these little things called barcodes on them. If you pick up a record from the 60s or 70s or 80s, there's no
There's no
barcode,
tracking.
nothing.
They only
So,
counted records by how many they pressed, which is an inflated number, as you know.
no, close. They counted how many they shipped.
Okay, that's fair.
So, like the Kiss solo records shipped vinyl.
They shipped platinum.
I'm sorry, they ship platinum. However, they ship back double platinum. So, yeah, so they're
I will
actually
fight you if you say a bad thing about Peter Chris's solo record right now. Don't you dare. Don't you make noises, Victor Borga.
that's the sugar Papa likes, my friend.
Yo,
So, what? I didn't make it.
I love it. The sugar Keefy likes.
Are you tossing and turning?
Because you matter to me, and that's why.
Oh my God, I'm just
Yacht
gonna.
Rock forever. Yacht Rock Kiss is the best kiss.
Everybody just watch me having a drink. Because
Gene
I
and
gotta
Paul should have fired everybody else.
watch me having a drink.
Peter, the lead vocalist. He had a sip obnoxiously of all the fucking things. That's the most obnoxious fucking thing ever.
I was trying to make noise. So
yeah.
anyway, so grunge has officially become a monster. What we didn't know in May of 1994 and June of 1994, or even July of 1994, when I saw the dreadful Smashing Pumpkins headlining Lollapalooza after being blown off the stage by the Beastie Boys, also featuring L7 and the Breeders and Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds. What we didn't know was grunge was dying.
It's a pretty good lineup.
It was a good lineup, except that I don't like most. Oh, George Clinton was there too. Bow wow wow, yippee yo, yippee yay. Bow wow wow. I mean, yeah. So the first time and so yeah, great lineup. Oh my God, I have not told the kid I've seen the Breeders. Oh, she would hate that.
Hmm.
I gotta mention that tomorrow.
They were on tour a year and a half ago. I saw them in Chicago.
I saw them when they were important. One of the few bands I've
Who's that?
seen. What? Come on, let's be real. It's one of the few bands I've seen like at the time, at the right time. It was a half hour, but it was the right time.
Okay.
And where was I? Oh yeah, so the world's changing, and the power brokers gave metal a chance. And so now we have this weird time, which leads into Slayer's best record, Diabolus in Musica. Is that what I said?
So, yeah, that you've said that before. I still say no, but all right.
Well, we stopped the Slayer show before we got there.
Not sure.
So, but
We'll have
this
to
is
do a
good.
second Slayer series where we do.
Oh God, I don't
Did
want
we
to.
also do the covers record also for Chaser?
Oh, no more covers records for Nick.
I know.
I just did on the Department of Mental Antiquities. Duncan and I did Ozzy Undercover. I
don't know
not.
why you are a massive.
I had never heard it. I had forgotten it existed. Duncan was like, "Let's do Osmosis." I'm like, "No, bro, that is not forgotten. That's actually a really good record, probably his last great record."
Fair.
And then I'm like, clickety clickety click. Oh, here's a covers record. Have you heard it? No, I haven't either. Let's
Did you
do
buy
that.
it?
No.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty bad.
No, that's a bin. That's not just a bin it.
Bin
That's
it.
a burn it
Burn
with
it.
fire. That's a burn it with fire.
Set it on fire and poke my
Like-
eardrums out with knitting needles.
That's a hope to God that it was in the universal fire. I don't say that much.
Yeah, wow. We have 25 minutes to do this long, unnecessarily long final classic obituary.
Alrighty, so the last thing I will say is that Obituary is bending with the times on this one. It is what it is. Starts off with the apathetically titled Don't Care.
No thoughts from you. Okay. Don't care. I waited this entire series to do my John Tardy impersonation. I don't care. Over and over, he says it in the song. This was a huge, following the last record, their second big MTV Headbangers Ball video. And was even on, I still have that VHS. I don't know if I have it anymore, but I had it forever, which was like the evolution of Roadrunner, which was like all their big hits at the time. Machine Head, Burn My Eyes, whatever, Machine Head, Davidian, Typo Negative, Black Number One, Killing
God, I
Time,
hate that
Black
song.
Black Train, Be Quiet, Black Train Jack, I Don't Care, and a few other things that were on the label. Don't Care, great song to open. Immediately the best sounding early Obituary record. I'm not sure why.
Is it
Best
really a
sounding.
great song?
It's an excellent opening song for this out. It's like it's considered still like a classic song by them.
Is it though?
And it is though. And
Okay.
yeah, and again, I don't know why this is still working with Scott Burns. Finally, they got the sound right. I don't know about the record or the songs, but the sound is for me right on.
But they got the sound right last time.
They did, but this is better.
All right. Well, we move on into the title track, World Demise. And one of the things we have said about the Obituary title tracks, and title tracks in general, is that typically they're fire. This is untypical.
This is not that great a song.
This is an atypical title track.
This is a dud a little bit, yeah.
I mean, let's ask a question. Have we heard a riff yet?
We have. Well, again, I would say like this record has one thing missing that the rest of the records had, which is speed and up tempo songs.
Kick-assity?
Not no, because there's some kick-ass songs on here that rage, but I just think like they settled into a groove and they started to get a little avant-garde. Maybe they were, I don't know if they were tired. Same lineup, 2 records in a row, which they
We
hadn't
talked last week
done.
about how they got very samey.
And this is pretty samey.
This is extra samey.
Yeah, well, but it's also like it's extra samey without the fast death metal and thrash parts at all. Like barely any on the record, so it's a little surprising.
It's a sludge metal record with death metal vocals.
Not unfair. Not unfair. I won't fight you.
Moving on into Burned In. I mean, this thing is just a slog. So, thoughts?
Not too many. This is the soft underbelly of the record, actually, because I think the second half is better.
Wow, the soft underbelly is long based on what I'm looking at.
Yikes.
Well, we next we redefine.
I think this is actually a good song.
They did redefine what Obituary is. They redefined it from amazing to whatever this is.
Think about 1993 and 1994. Now we're at the peak of death metal. We have the proliferation of death metal bands and albums and labels. Death has, is kind of making their classic best music. Deicide, Morbid Angel, these are making classic second and third and fourth albums. Suffocation's got their first 2 records by now. I think they were just trying to put some distance between themselves like they always did. We don't want to be the same as everybody else. So either you become more brutal, fast, and technical, or you slow it the fuck down. And
I think we should point out that black metal is now becoming a thing.
Yeah, but death metal and black metal definitely didn't like each other.
They didn't like each other, but they had to differentiate from each other.
True.
Black metal, like if you listen to Mayhem, you pointed out Mysterious Dom Satanas, that record is obscenely fast.
So is the Emperor record from this year, too.
It's obscenely fast, so what's Obituary do to respond?
Slow it down. I like Burned In and Redefine. No, Burned In's not good. Redefine and the next one I like.
All right, well, you know what? We're gonna get Paralyzing, which is I will say this: it's better than the Kiss song "Paralyzed" off Revenge.
Yeah, no song called "Paralyzing" or "Paralyzed" is ever that good. And
no, it's not. It's you know what you want to do? You just want to grab your dick and punch it and start recording, and you've got Paralyzed.
I think what you start to see, the mistake here, is they start to go too long on these songs. They write out parts. They do extra long outros.
Oh, I was saving that for track 9.
Sure.
Because I'm still gonna do it. I'm gonna do what I was gonna do anyway.
If you cut a minute off of all these songs, this would be way better.
Yeah, I don't care. If Don't Care is a tight 2 minutes.
Yeah, by the way,
we got like grindcore almost.
Don't Care is 3 straight minutes. But it's like this whole record's 50 minutes and 51 minutes. And
what have we said every week so far?
The Nik is a Nik 101 on album making. Go for it.
A death metal record, 40 minutes is the max.
Right.
And if you're making a 40-minute record, you're going to have one 8-minute tune with about 9 parts.
Fair.
If you don't have that, just kick it around 32 to 35.
I like these next few.
Okay.
I'll just throw that out there right off the bat. You probably don't.
This record is sloggy. It's
a bit of a lower tier record for sure, but it sounds good. It sounds like if they had this sound on the earlier records, I don't know. We
Yeah,
still talk about them as a legendary and great
I'm
band.
I am gonna remind me to discuss that at the end of this. Okay,
All right.
go ahead.
Lost
Or
is
my,
good. It's shorter. That I like. It's one of the
is it
shorter
sure?
ones
It's
left.
4 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, like considering all the other songs are 4 or 5 minutes except for one, I like
There's
it.
12 songs.
There's four too many.
Yeah,
Go
I was gonna
back
say
to eight
three.
or
I
nine.
was gonna say three.
I think Lost is a good song.
All right, moving on to Solid State. We are in a very completely unforgettable portion of this record.
This is the second soft underbelly. It's not a good thing.
You can't have two soft underbellies on one record.
You can? You sure? I think we got it.
You you shouldn't.
You should
You
not.
do not. You don't have
Not
my
on purpose.
permission if you want my $30.
Okay, fair.
Moving on.
I don't need to own this record, by the way.
No,
Compared to the
no.
other three.
Moving into Splattered. Okay, great, wonderful. You did a song.
It's all right.
4 minutes.
Good riff,
Now
great vocal. How good are the vocals on this record? This guy's
The vocals are great. However,
fantastic. I just think they should have shortened the songs.
yeah. Now we're going to get into what I'm pretty sure is the last song on the record, right?
It should be. It's not. You were saying you had a joke about this last week.
Yeah, this is when it should stop.
Yeah.
Final
Also should have been the
thoughts.
final song. Like,
Yeah, final thoughts. Good song. Great ender.
would have been a great album ender.
Hit stop on the machine.
I don't think I've ever heard any of these live except World Demise and Don't Care.
Hit stop and go to the bar.
Turn it off. Yeah.
But you know what? Let's just keep going because
Shake
we
hands.
still got a couple
We
of
got
ideas.
some more songs left over. Let's go.
No, we don't need to. These could have been B-sides. They could have been B-sides.
There are B-sides to the re-release of this, and they're all live versions of some of this stuff and a couple of others. Number 10 is next.
Number 10 is Boiling Point, and I've reached it.
Yikes. Ba-dum-ps. Yeah, not memorable.
Next up, Set in Stone, and that number is 35. We're at 50.
Yeah, not that remarkable.
And then the last song on the record, which is the longest song on the record, which is the worst song on the record, which makes no sense on the record, is Kill for Me.
They threw it in. They should have not.
This is like Beastie Boys extra batter from Cookie Puss. It's just like shit that was left over with some samples thrown in it.
Even if you take Kill for Me off, the album is still 45 minutes. It's still too long.
Death metal doesn't work that long on a record. It just
no.
doesn't. 30 minutes. Like if you make a 30-minute death metal record, like Legion, we talked about that a couple of weeks ago, right? Legion is probably the single best death metal record. Tell me I'm wrong.
I would say it's in the top 5. I don't think it's the single best at all.
It's the best.
No.
It comes in, hits you hard, thunders, beats, blastings.
We discussed at length that Deicide has only 2 modes.
Yeah, 2 modes.
Glenn does not have a lot of vocal variety.
Yes, 2.
And all the songs are about Jesus and Satan, and I don't care. Like literally the least.
Can you understand anything he's saying? You know what? Do you know what that verse? You know what Legion has? It has a goat bleeding. Bleating, not bleeding. Yes, bleating.
Bleating.
Ah.
I know what it means. I've heard Stevie Nicks sing before. I know what bleeding is.
Oh, that's mean and true.
It's mean and true.
I've heard Eddie Vedder too.
I've heard Eddie Vedder, and I've heard several other people, and Bondage, Goat, Zombie, and it's all good. So this record, the definite.
We gotta kill this at an hour?
In like 10 minutes, yeah. I told you that going in.
Okay.
It's not worth going that long on this, but we want to wrap up the series. I think this is absolutely the worst of the 4 records we've done, sadly.
This album is bad.
They do one more record after this that's worse, and then they break up for 7 or 8 years.
This
Their next record has rap and new metal on it. Go investigate that on your own time.
Wait a minute. Wait, what record is that?
Whatever the next one is, that's bad.
Back from the Dead.
It sucks.
Oh so no, I did this one with Duncan. I should have done the next one with Duncan if it's got rap and new metal.
Oh, it's so fucking bad.
Oh my god, DJ Diablo.
I don't want to know.
Skinner T.
Don't know who those are.
I'm going.
Terrible.
I'm going away. I don't want to see any more of what I just saw.
You don't.
I think I have it. I probably
and
have it
and
in my
John pushed them
iTunes.
into that direction. Like we have to not be death metal for a while because of the changes in the music business.
The thing about
And
death metal is the best when it is unapologetically death metal and unapologetically just wrong.
yeah, that's fair.
That's what makes it great. It's like Kiss, right? We know a key. It's E minor. Ace can solo in one key. It's A minor. I don't know if these things go together, but that's what happens when they get together. Because Ace didn't learn any other keys. He just got into a band and went, "Oh, I'm great. I'm awesome." Unapologetically stupid. And that's death metal. It's unapologetically stupid. We are, I mean, just lefty spaghetti types. I mean, just wet noodles, right? And here we are just gushing and coming over the most awful, violent music there is because it's unapologetically stupid.
Well, death metal fans get the joke. It's like any horror movie. It's like literally an 80s Freddy, Jason, Michael Myers horror movie. You get the we were Pinhead, right? You get the
Never saw
joke.
it.
You have not seen Hellraiser?
No, I haven't. How
Um
do I look? Is my lighting better today? Do I look less terrifyingly white?
no, you're always terrifyingly white.
I only
Listen,
come in one color, bro.
send it back. Nothing says loving like my toaster cakes. Anyway, white flower. Listen,
No,
you.
no, 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 no. He said flower.
I
F
said
L
white
O
flower. Yeah,
U R.
white flower.
Well, stop saying that. It is too close to. It is too close to Philip.
All right, I know.
We're
Come on,
pushing the
stop.
Philip. Come on.
Stop,
No,
stop,
you
stop.
stop. You
You
stop.
stop. You stop. Death metal is
You start.
corny and funny, and it's meant to be.
Yes,
Everybody
that
that
is.
listens to death metal gets the joke. Most people are nice and normal. They go out to the supermarket and they buy dish soap and cat food, and they come home and they listen to.
One. Okay, one. Fuck you. Quit describing me.
I didn't say anything about a Prius or a Leaf. Come on.
I don't have a Prius
You had one
anymore.
anymore.
I graduated. I
Shop at
graduated.
Aldi and Whole Paycheck. That's
I do
fine.
not shop at Whole Paycheck until I am told to go there by a lawyer wife so she can get the stupid bullshit they have there.
Okay. Some of the
It's
stuff
egg
they have.
salad and smoked mozzarella pasta.
Oh, that's kind of good.
Uh,
Do you have any final thoughts on Obituary? I'm glad we did this series. We talked about it enough all last year.
I mean, Obituary is. I mean, we can never overstate the importance of Obituary. You know, the fact that they were such an important band that a mainstream comedian, which the joke I told last week, the fact that they are so important that they made it into a Mitch Hedberg joke. And they were the most famous band of the joke. By the way, it was I got one of the bands wrong. It was Obituary, Rigor Mortis, Mortuary. Rigor Mortis is the one I had wrong. Okay. The fact that they made it into a mainstream comedian's act tells you how big they were. And the fact that I have never seen Obituary in a crowd of bigger than 700 people tells you how niche metal in general is. We're talking about an era of metal where the mainstream labels blew up and went crazy. And here we are. I'm talking to me. I'm talking to you. I'm talking to my good friend Danny, whose record, Children of the Night, kicks fucking ass. And if you don't live in St. Louis, Joe's Records STL will ship it to you. So please buy it. This thing is amazing. You know what? We might have a giveaway for all of Danny's CDs that I have, because I've got like 10. But after I rip them. But what? Come on. So we're talking about an extraordinarily important band. And what makes them so important is the change they made. They took death metal into a different place. If you listen to their peers, I would say their biggest peers are, of course, Cannibal Corpse, Death, Morbid Angel, and Deicide. And Obituary is nothing like the other four. They're all very different bands to a point. Deicide is overly heavy and overly satanic and overly fast and overly corny. Again, the goats. Remember the goats we talked about? Then you have Cannibal Corpse, who are overly everything. The idea of Cannibal Corpse is the Nigel Tufnell Marshall amp. It goes to 11. Well, of course, it's one louder. Whenever we need a little crunch, that little push over the cliff, we go to 11. That's Cannibal Corpse. You go to Morbid Angel, and they're like, oh, we're going to sing about the myths of satanic and pagan culture from years gone by, and the Shub Nagoroth. And I'm like, nobody knows what those things mean, bro. But you know what? Thank you for wearing a cape and not being a creeper. Because only... Can you wear a cape without being weird?
It's a lot of cape talk. We talked about capes a few recently, and
There's a lot of capes in metal.
Well, some mostly. I don't know. Mostly capes.
And Rick Wakeman.
And Rick Wakeman. And
that bro wears a cloak like nobody's business.
He loves wearing a cloak. Him and Lando Calrissian. Lando Calrissian's a black guy. Anyway,
he got to drive the Millennium Falcon.
Anyway,
I didn't know you were gonna scream Black Rage. I nearly pissed myself. So, this is an amazing slice of popular culture because we have this moment where a genre of metal that is so niche, so avant-garde comparatively to mainstream metal, almost got famous. It was almost famous, man. This is... What was the name of that bus? Lucille? No. Doris. This is when death metal is Doris. Because they were almost famous. They almost got there.
It's a strange analogy, but I'll accept it. I also, like, some of the best-selling records in the genre are happening also at this time. So
right. The best-selling records of the genre are 125,000.
This last one was not one of them by Obituary.
No, it was not. No. Last week we did a record that did 250 worldwide.
Yeah, this one I don't think.
And last week when we discussed that 250,000 number, we were both like, what?
How?
Yeah, exactly. How? Because we know how the story ended. And, you know, this is also around the time when Cannibal Corpse is in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. What could have been if it were only slightly more palatable? What could have been if Headbangers Ball at this point in time still existed? I know what you're going to say. It's not canceled, but does it exist? They're playing Soundgarden and Nirvana on Headbangers Ball at this point. So at this point in time, Headbangers Ball does not exist. It's a non-entity. It's just another alternative nation. It's just another 120 minutes. What could have been, however, if this was the record on which they were hitching their hopes, if this was the wagon, it would have failed. Because this album sucks ass.
I will firmly disagree with you about Headbangers Ball. It was on for a whole nother year and a half.
It was on, but it wasn't Headbangers Ball.
Yeah, but it was still pretty metal. And
it's like
they had to change with the times. People were tuning in.
They did not have to.
They did. They chose to. And I think like Soundgarden is metal and Nirvana is heavy enough and punk rock enough that it was fine. I agree. Nirvana was on 24/7 and Soundgarden was on 24/7 and Metallica was on 24/7.
Right. And when you started putting those bands on Headbangers Ball, it lost its appeal. I know what it is.
Not to me.
But I'm gonna say what it is. Yeah. At that point in time, Headbangers Ball ceased being an entity. They didn't show Fight anymore. They didn't show Morbid Angel anymore. They sure as fuck weren't showing any singles off this goddamn stupid record.
And Beavis and Butthead are out at this time watching Morbid Angel. So yeah. I don't know.
Metal is on Beavis and Butthead at this point and not Headbangers Ball.
Okay.
That's the problem.
That's how you want to end this series? What a lame fucking ending. Anyway, like
You know what? You know who's lame? Tiny Tim, but we saved his ass. Where do you want to be when Tiny Tim is ready to go?
Tiptoe Through the Tulips, Tiny Tim, or Tiny
No, Tiny Tim.
Tim Cratchit.
Tiny Tim Cratchit, motherfucker.
Why are we talking about Christmas shit?
I don't know. I took this in a
January.
weird. I took it in a weird
You
direction.
really took this off the fucking rails for the ending. Ace Ventura: Pet Detective comes out February 4th, 1994.
We
So
did
you're not
not.
wrong about that.
I know I'm not wrong. I'm talking. We did not discuss the next series like we discussed what we're going to do. You have the two choices. I will give it. I will throw it to you. Keefy is going to tell us and me
Oh,
what
I
the next
don't I
series
don't
is.
fucking remember. You chose it. I'm putting it back on me. I just said you announce it.
It's P or M.
Just pick one, man. I don't care.
All right. We had originally teased doing a Metallica series next, which we will do a Metallica series. But next, I would really like to do Pink Floyd.
Yeah, let's do the Floyds. Let's start the Floyds. The year of
We're
the
gonna
Floyds.
we're gonna do Pink Floyd starting with an album that was released in 1981.
That's not completely accurate, but yeah, fine.
The album was.
The album was widely released in 1981. It was already fighting, like unbelievable. Just don't spoil the series. We're doing a record from before they were famous, and then we're gonna do the first early Sid records.
Right. We're going to do a
I don't
record
care
with.
about 1981. It's a music from 1965. I don't give a shit about
Right. We're
what year it
starting.
came out on vinyl for you
Oh
nerd.
my lord! All right, fight, fight, fight!
Well,
Itchy
that's
and
what you want to
scratchy
do.
show. Yes, I
That's what
do
you
want to
want to
fight.
do.
I love fighting.
Worker and Parasite. You're a
Oh,
worker and I'm
what the
Parasite.
hell was that?
You don't remember when they showed
I
the
just did, and
communist Russian
I
version?
quoted what Krusty said when they came back. Krusty's holding a cigarette in one hand and goes, "What the hell was that?"
It's true.
So we're gonna start with Pink Floyd from before they received a record contract when they were doing singles. I have an album that's called Masters of Rock. That's going to be episode 1, followed by, of course, Piper at the Gates of Dawn, followed by Saucer Full of Secrets, followed by
No, we'll stop
whatever the
there.
next one is.
We'll stop there because they don't
Two,
have
three.
yeah, unless we do Let's All Make Love also.
Are
Because
we
that's
are we
Sid.
just doing we're just doing the cities?
I don't know.
I'm fine with that. We can do the cities. We'll do Sids and then we'll move on.
Yeah, we'll do the Sids and we'll come back another time for the instrumentals, which even though we did kind of, I think we did check some of the other ones, and then we'll talk about like metal through the wall. I think that would be the obvious long series to do mid-year or summertime.
Hang on, you want to do Metal to the Wall?
And you can't break. To me, they can't be broken up. I don't see
Okay.
how.
I will go. Look, I will.
Or
do
maybe, or maybe. I mean, I don't know. We'll talk about how to. I can't think about it now. Let's chop it
that.
up.
No, we're do. You said it. We're doing it. That's
Oh
happening.
no!
We're
Oh
done.
god! No,
It's a done deal.
It may be
Until no, we're gonna do Metal to
no.
I Die.
No, you're not saying the final cut. That's crazy. Well, we'll revisit how to do it. Okay, calm down. Take us
I
home.
can't.
Please take us
Oh,
home.
is it my turn? Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you, Keefy. Every week, I know I raise your blood pressure and I make you want to have that embolism that makes you want to pop like Julie Dwyer in a swimming pool. But yet you come back every week, and I thank you for that. And I thank everybody for coming back each week listening to us. There are 1,000 million billion podcasts. This house that I am sitting in publishes 2 a week. I'm on both of them, but that's besides the point. The fact that you have taken some time to listen to us is humbling and wonderful. I am just a guy in St. Louis that has always loved music and loved talking and loved pontificating. And thank you for finding us, finding our tribe, finding our people. As we say each week, please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please tell one friend because the mighty monster algorithm is undefeated and we need your help to walk around him in a Mazes and Monsters style fashion, which was a Nintendo video game that was really terrible, and I feel bad for anybody else who ever played it. But as we say each week, thank you for listening. This has been the Glacially Musical Podcast. It doesn't play in Peoria.
I don't care.